Hey guys, it's Philip from the Honda Resource. Today, I'm going to be doing a project that I've wanted to do for quite some time. I have a 2002 Honda CRV. It's one of my personal vehicles. And I've been wanting to put some 05 to 06 CRV taillights on. And you can see at the top they don't have the amber portion. And I just think they make it a much cleaner, nicer, updated look. So I finally found a set. And I actually picked these up for free. I was buying another CRV, and the guy had a part CRV, and I was able to get these with the purchase of the other vehicle. So I'm going to in this episode, I'll show you how to remove the tail light, and then we'll get the other tail lights wired in, because the wiring is a little different. So we'll be doing a little bit of wiring, and then we'll get them installed. So check out the rest of the video. All right, so if you'll notice, I'm also converting the rest of my interior over to black. This one originally had tan interior, and I had most everything swapped out besides the rear panels. And sadly enough, I'm probably about to sell this thing. I recently bought a Civic Hybrid, and I commute about 35 miles to work every day, one way. So it's just the hybrid saving me so much money on gas. I don't really need this. I have another big SUV, so I don't really need it. I rarely drive it now. I pretty much drive it to the store just to keep the battery charged. So anyways, to remove the tail light, there's a little black plug that covers over these screws here, and you just use like a gasket pick or something and pick those little plugs out. I don't have them on this light. They weren't on it when I purchased this vehicle, but the passenger side one has it, so I'll show you how to do that one when we get over there. But once you get the little plugs out, it's got two little bolts in here. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah. So they just got two little bolts like this, and these are Phillips head. All right, it's got a little Phillips head on there, and it's also 8mm head. So you can use a Phillips or 8mm. I use the Phillips head on my drill and just back to mount. So once you get that, it's got three clips over here. So like one down here, one about right here, and one about right here. You just grab the light and pull out on it, and it comes out like so. You can see it has the bulbs in here, so we have to remove these. Just twist these and get them out. All right. Now, you know, in a perfect world, so you would think, you know, ideally, you could just take this harness out, put this one in, but unfortunately the connectors don't fit. The wiring is slightly different. So thankfully the bulbs are in the same place, so we don't have to do a ton of wiring. And I was fortunate enough to get part of the harness from the donor car. So I'll be showing you the wire colors and stuff, and we'll be doing a little bit of soldering and heat shrink and that kind of stuff to convert this over. All right, so I was looking here, and I took some of the tape off of the harness here. You see each one of these has a black wire that goes to each bulb, and that's your ground. So if you look, let me see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 black wires, right? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bulbs. Each bulb has its own ground wire. But when they go into this grommet here, it apparently also converts the 4 wires into the single black wire that comes out of this. So all 4 blacks do the same thing, and you'll notice on our 0506 harness that so if you look here on the 0506 harness, we only have 2 black wires coming off of it. And that's because the way they've essentially just got it daisy chained through the connector here. So you can see how it comes from this marker light, comes down here, basically goes through this connector and comes out here. So what we'll wind up doing is just on this harness here, we'll take 2 of them and we'll tie them into one. and it'll take the other two and tie them into the other. It doesn't matter which one goes to which, because they're all going to the same single black wire over here, right? It's just the ground. So on this harness, our turn signal is green with a yellow tracer, and the same can be said for the 0506, because it's green with a yellow tracer, so that matches. It appears that all of the wire colors match, all right? So all the wire colors match. All right, so essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the harness here and then solder and heat shrink by matching wire colors here. If you wanted to, you could probably take the connectors off of the 0506, you know, cut it here and then take your other connectors and just solder them on at the end. But I'm just going to do it all down here for cleanliness. All right, so first of all, I did make sure that the car is off, none of the lights are on, so none of this should have power to it. But even if it did, I would still recommend cutting the wires separately, just so, well, for this instance, I'm gonna cut all 4 grounds. Ground is a ground, right? All right, so the rest of these wires, I'll just cut them one at a time and cut them even with this, because I'm gonna cut the other, well, the other harness is already cut even. All right, so now we've got the 0204 taillight harness off. All right, so what I'm doing here is just stripping them back with a pair of wire strippers. I'm gonna do all the grounds first because I don't want a bunch of exposed wires that can arc against each other and that kind of stuff. And so then I got the harness from the 0506, and I've already stripped all the wires back on it. These, we're gonna put 2 grounds from the original harness into 1 ground from the 0506. So we've got our harness here from the 0506 taillight, and I've already stripped all the ends. So let's take one of the black wires, all right, and we'll solder that up. And you can see I put heat shrink on it here. Once it cools off just a tad, we'll slide the heat shrink over it. If you try to put the heat shrink over right now, it'll just shrink the tubing before it gets over it. So, there it is. All right, so then we just take the lighter and shrink that tubing down. All right, and also this heat shrink here, you can get it at most auto parts stores. And I think I actually got it from a electrical supply store, and I'll buy it by like a 3-foot stick and then just cut pieces that I need. All right, so the reverse light here, we'll go ahead and do it since it's here in my hand. So that's the green with the black, so we match it to the green with the black. Slide our shrink tubing on there. And so the heat shrink makes a waterproof seal on here, and it protects the wire with a nice coating. All right, and then if you notice on here, we have two that are red with black, and you can choose either one. They go to the same wire over here. They do the same like the blacks do in here, and they go down to a single wire. It's just your marker lights. The other part, and like I said, we got our other black. Slide our piece of heat shrink over that. And we'll get our other two blacks that we've already stripped on here. Now we just continue matching the colors on our remaining 3 wires. Alright, so that part's done. I'll just plug that little harness back in there. Alright, and so before they had a little bit of tape around all this, so in an effort to replicate that somewhat, I really like this tape right here. It's a Scotch 3M tape, and it's available like most home improvement stores, like Home Depot, etc. I think you can get it at an auto parts store too. A little more expensive at the auto parts store than it is at home improvement stores. So that's why I typically get it at the home improvement stores, get it like in the electrical section. All right, so now that we're done with the wiring portion for this tail light, we'll go ahead and install the tail light. So we'll just take this and put the bulbs in. All right, so you can see here that I've got them all in positions like how they would be factory. All right. And then this one's ready to install. And then we'll use our 2 little bolts. This one goes right here. And one that goes right up here. And then we have the 2 little plastic pieces. Because I actually had them for the 0506 light. Probably the same for the other light too, but let's see. Pop them babies in. Now let's test it out. All right, so we should have marker lights, brake lights, and reverse, and left signal. So what do you think? How'd I do? I think they look incredible. Definitely updates the look of the truck. So now we'll go ahead and do the passenger side. All right, so on the previous light I told you it didn't have the little pieces there that cover the screw. So use my little gasket pick. It's got the groove here. Just get in the groove and you can pop it right out. I'm gonna do a quick function check on the bulbs before I secure the light, just to make sure all the bulbs are good. So running lights, brake lights, turn signal, and reverse. All right, so on that function check, I'm sure you can see that this bulb right here was not functioning for the running lights, so I thought it looked burnt. That's why I did the function check before. So if you look, this bulb is pretty black, looks blown. I'm gonna swap it out real quick. All right, so we have our running lights, brake lights, left signal, right signal, and reverse. So what do you think, guys? I think it looks incredible. Definitely updated the look. So these actually came off of a 2005 CRV Special Edition. They are OEM, and it's kind of like the 50-50 feel, right? And now I've shown you how you can install some on yours. You can go to the junkyard, and if you find something, you know how to take them off now, and just cut the little harness right where it goes into the body, and go and get you a little bit of heat shrink, get you a soldering iron. And I actually got mine like from a hobby store, or actually I think I bought that one on eBay. It's for like model airplanes and stuff. It gets really hot, really good quality soldering iron for pretty cheap. I think I paid like $10 for it. It's a Hobbico. And then the solder that I use, I actually get from Home Depot. It's back in the tool section. Like I said, the heat shrink that I use, I get at an electrical supply store. You can also get it like at your auto parts store, O'Reilly's, Advance, AutoZone. I think all those carry it, just a little more expensive at those stores. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I invite you to check out the channel and see if you can find some more videos on my channel that may pique your interest. And as always, I'd appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications if you'd like to see more. Thanks again. Peace.